Hi, and welcome back to my studio. I promised someone that I would show you how to do a palm tree, so I'm going to let you look over my shoulder while I do this third palm tree into my painting. Facebook has been torturing me with memories of our Hawaiian trip from 3 years ago. So this was one of the paintings, or one of the photographs that we took the first morning that we were in Honolulu, and this was at sunrise. And so I'm going to let you watch as I finish off this painting. So really all it takes is having some gray paint that I'm using for my palm trunk. And so I'm just going to place that right in here. My gray paint that has just a little bit of water in it to make it flow a little bit better. And I'm not going to worry too much if my palm tree isn't perfectly straight. Some of them are, but some of them are kind of wiggly. Okay, so there's the indication of my trunk, and I'm going to take a little bit of black paint, maybe mixed with a little bit of the gray, and just pull a little bit of the black paint. I'll get a little bit darker than that. A little bit of the black paint across the trunk to give the indications of those rings that palm trunks have on them. Okay, so there's my trunk. And now I'm going to take my round brush. This is a kind of a detail brush. It's the 0 round brush. And this particular one is a Royal Langnickel. But the brand it is, the trademark of it is Zen. And I really like the Zen brushes. They're a little bit more expensive than some of the student brushes that I buy. But this has a really nice firm tip to it and has nice spring to it. So to do my little palm branches, I'm going to use a paint that I made with some green and some black to give it a little bit more of a dark color here. So I'm just dipping into a little bit of water, or actually this has a little bit of Floetrol in it too, but I just need it to water down that paint just a little bit so that I get a nice flow. And I'm going to come up here and put like a little spoke in the sky for the indications of where my branches are going to go. That was a little watery, but it'll work. And I drug my finger in the paint, so I'll clean myself up before I put a fingerprint of green somewhere I don't want it. So then when I'm ready to do my individual little fronds, I'm going to use just this small round brush, bring it to a nice point in my paint just by rolling it so I get that nice point back. And then I'm going to come up here and just start putting in the individual little palm leaves. Now I've done this with fan brushes, I've done it with, half-inch brush, and I just think that doing each little individual one is just a little bit nicer of a feel than either of those brushes. It takes a little bit more time, and I have to admit, the first time I saw one of my students doing this, I thought she was insane, because I usually like to throw things up there pretty fast and not have to work on too many details. But there's something very nice and meditative of doing these individual little strokes. So it's been a good thing for me to slow down a little bit and just work out each individual little stroke.
You got the time.
Yes, I do have the time. Dave says I have the time. I don't know, can they see around my hand
No.
what I'm doing? And sometimes I have to move my canvas around to get it to where I can get in there and do those little strokes. Get them going the right direction.
Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah. And the direction of each of these little lines is important. You want it to go outward with the center of the frond, and so you're kind of following that curve that I've put out there already. And sometimes I'm just doing one side of it, and other times I'm coming back and throwing some strokes on the other side as well. But not every one of the fronds are going to be so that you can see both sides. Some of them are just going to be, one half of it that you're seeing. And if your paint isn't thin enough, you're going to get these little breaks in it. So if you want it to be a nice firm stroke, you have to have enough water, but not enough that it's going to drip. Delicate balance. I really can't get too many strokes in there before I have to reload my paintbrush. Okay, so basically the direction of your fronds is going to be kind of coming out from the center and then falling downward. So on the other side, I'm going to come up and go the other direction. Hope you can see around my hand well enough that you can get sort of the idea of what I'm doing. And I think I want just another little indication coming up from the center here. Got those a little bit wet, so I just added a little bit more paint back into that. I think I'll give a little indication of some kind of sticking up across the top. And I did cover up part of the nicest part of my cloud, but oh well, I will know that it was there at one time. And you can just put as many in there as you want. I'm not real crazy about this, so I'm going to stick another one over here. Maybe coming out across that one. Let me pick up a little bit more water. And you can just play with those and refine them as much as you want. Or you can stick them up there pretty fast and call it done. And I'm just going to give a little indication of a few little pieces of stuff. I'm not real sure what to call all that hangs down there. But that's pretty much our tree. I'm just going to go down here and put a few little indications of grass at the trunk so that it kind of sets it into the ground. And that's pretty much what it is. It may take you a little bit of time to get to the point where you feel confident doing this, and you have to learn the direction that each of these are going. A problem that some people have is knowing which direction each of these need to go. So you just kind of follow that center line that you put, and then just kind of come up next to that. You don't want to stick them straight out from it, but you want to keep following that line. Hope that makes sense to you. Okay, so there's a palm tree. So I hope you will give it a try, and I hope when we get back to doing art, I'll be able to show you some more about how to do palm trees and all of these other wonderful things that I've been playing with while I've been home. We'll see you later. Bye.